Hello students, so again we'll continue with the same chapter operators and expression in C++. So today we'll be discussing about manipulators. So what are manipulators? Manipulator operators are used to modify the way of displaying data on the output stream. So it is used with this insertion operator, as you can see that less than symbol. So there are two types of manipulators used. So using these manipulators, okay, you can modify the way of displaying data on the output stream. It means that, okay, whatever data that are being displayed on the output stream. So how do we display it on the output stream? That is using the C output stream, right? C out. So using the C out command. So it is used with the C out uh, stream, okay, and the way we want to display the data, okay, is by using these manipulator operators. So one such is the NL manipulator. Now see, so that is NL. It is used to insert a new line and flush the output buffer. So this is similar to the slash n, that escape sequence character. So that slash n and nl is more or less the same. It moves the cursor onto the next line. So a new line is created, okay, that pushes the cursor to the next line. That is same like pressing the enter button. Okay, now uh, what it does again is, okay, it flushes the output buffer. That means it forces the uh, it forces C out, okay, to display that line statement or whatever output is to be uh, whatever output value is to be displayed. Okay, so this is used with the cout stream. So based on that, you have an example there. Okay, so in the cout statement, you can see that sum of two numbers are, and then you can see that using the insertion operator or by using the cascading operator, so the nl is used, so the nl gets typed out there. So you can see that this nl is used mostly with the c output stream. Then in the next line statement also, the cout displays the string value 171 is the output. So in the output you can see that in the first line sum of two numbers are that gets printed out, and because of the nl manipulator, the second sentence gets printed out on the next line. Now if suppose nl is not used, okay, if we just write sum of two numbers are and then semicolon, and in the next line we write cout 171 is the output, okay, the output will be displayed on a single, as a single sentence on the same line. Sum of two numbers are, and then continue 171 is the output. Okay, so there will be no gap or no break in between. It will be just displayed on a same line statement. So using the nl, okay, what happens, it moves the cursor to the next line, and there is some sort of distinction between that string and the other string that is by the printed out by the cout statements. Okay, so just keep in mind that this is same like using the slash and escape sequence character. Now set w manipulator. So this set w manipulator function, okay, uh, it stands for set width. Now this changes the width of the field to be displayed on the output. So whenever you want some uh, extra spaces in between the outputs to be displayed, okay, you can set a particular length of space using this set uh, manipulators. Okay, so to use these manipulators, you use the io_manip.h header file in the program. So as you can see in that example, write a program without using the set w manipulator. So here you can see that the set w manipulator is not used, but the nl is used. So if you have to use the set w manipulator, you have to use the io_manip, that is input output manipulator dot header file at the beginning of the program, right after the iostream.h, because this is a manipulator function. So in this program you can see that at the beginning of every program, okay, the hashtag include iostream.h is used. So again, to make you understand that the hashtag or the pound sign, okay, that the preprocessor directory tells the compiler to include the iostream file from the, that is of the extension header file, from the include directory. So before the source file, this source file, the program that you've written gets compiled, okay, before it gets run, the compiler goes through the iostream.h. So what is this iostream.h? So if you do not write down this iostream.h file, then the compiler will detect error when you write down cout or when you write down cin, because iostream is input output stream and cout and cin is your standard output and input streams. Okay, now as usual, always the program begins with the main function, and the main function by default returns an integer value. So that is why the at the bottom of the program, okay, before the closing bracket, return 0 is mentioned there. 0 is an integer value, right? So that means it tells the compiler that this program has terminated successfully. So that message is sent to the operating system to close this program. Okay, so now whatever is written within the opening and the curly braces, that is the body of the main function. The compiler will execute only what is written within the body of the main function. So the main function is responsible for the execution of the program and also the termination of the program. Okay, how do you know that the main function? This is predefined keyword also. Okay, so you cannot change the word main to MIAN, otherwise you'll get what is called as a linker error. Right, so now in next is the variable declaration, right after the main function. So you declare the variables, or you can also initialize the variable. So in this program you can see that the three variables are initialized. They are assigned the values that you can see on the right side after the assignment operator, that is the equal to symbol, right? So here you can see that the type of this variable is long, that is long int. Okay, so long type can take in a more number of bytes. Okay, so if an integer occupies 2 bytes of memory, long will occupy suppose like 4 bytes of memories. Okay, so when the number of data to be entered is more, like in this case the number of integer values is more, right? So in that case, long type is used. Okay, so here the variable names are pop1, pop2 and pop3, which is user defined. So initialization of the values to the variable means that you're assigning the values, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 to the variable pop1, like that. Okay, so here the three variables pop1, pop2, pop3 are of long type. Okay, then you can see in that in the cout statement, okay, so in the string it is written there countries. Okay, then next it is written there population, and then using the insertion operator it ends with the nl, but it does not end with the semicolon, right? It does not end with the semicolon, which means that, okay, uh, this cout stream, okay, statement has not ended at all. Okay, so you can continue to write down the next line, that is China pop 1 NL. Okay, so now under countries you have China, India and USA. Under population, okay, under population the values that is assigned to pop 1, pop 2 and pop 3 will be displayed. Okay, so NL, what is the use of this NL? So NL will make sure that, okay, the values that are stored in pop1, pop2 and pop3 and the string values China, India and USA will be printed out in the next line. All right, so as you can see that in the output, okay, countries is one column, population is another column, and under countries, China, India, and USA gets printed out. Under population, the values that is assigned to pop 1, pop 2, and pop 3 gets printed out. But you can see that the output is not structured properly. There is no gap between the countries column and the population column, right? So how do we set this correct? How do we make sure that there is a proper gap uh, between the countries and the population so that it looks like a tabular format arranged in rows and columns, right? So for that purpose, setW manipulator is used. Okay, so in the next program we shall see how we use the setW manipulator along with the NL manipulators. Okay, so here you can see that another example where a program to demonstrate the NL and setW manipulator. So here right after the header file you can see another header file is included, that is iomanip.h. Now whenever you are using this setW manipulator in the program, as you can see there set w within the bracket 8 or set w12. Okay, if you write this down in the program and you don't write down the iomanip.h, then the compiler will display an error. Okay, the compiler will not recognize what is set w. So you must include the iomanip.h at the beginning of the program before the main function. Now let's come to the cout statement. Okay, so in the beginning, okay, before the countries China, India, and USA are written, okay, you can see that the setW manipulator is written first, so along with the insertion operator. So what does this setw8 means? Since it is function, okay, so the setw, that is function name, will execute on the value that is inserted within the parenthesis, that is the argument. Okay, so when the compiler sees this setw, it recognizes what this setw is and it knows what it will do. Okay, so setw8 means, okay, before the word countries China and India and USA, okay, 8 with space, that is cursor space, okay, 8 cursor space will be allotted so that uh, that is like a tab space. Okay, that is like a tab space. So in the output, okay, some spaces on the left side, exactly 8 spaces will be used when it is printed out. So countries China, India, and USA will be on the same line. Okay, then after that you can see that just before the population and the variable pop1, pop2, pop3, to that is pop1 will display the value that is stored. Okay, pop2 will display the value that is stored in that variable, pop3 will display the value that is stored in that variable, right? So when you set the width to 12, okay, so when it is printed out in the output, you can see that now there's a distinction between the countries column and the population column. So it comes as a straight line. Okay, so now how do we set the width in between the countries and the population? So here set w is written as 12, which means that, okay, starting from the countries, that is starting from the alphabet C, if you count the number of spaces, that is COUNTRIES, that comes to 10. Okay, now the width is given as, the number of spaces is given as 12, right? So after S, the next space becomes 11 and the next blank space becomes 12. So till 12, okay, it will be left out, and then starting from number 13 space, okay, population P will start. Similarly, okay, for the population of China, the digit 1, okay, it will start from number 13 space. Okay, starting from China, CHINA. Okay, so from starting from C will be the space number 1, okay, until the population 1, 2, 3, okay, 1, okay, it will start from the number 13. You got it? So similarly, for India also, okay, it will be the same, and for USA it will be same. So that is how you set the field width of the data to be displayed using this setW manipulator. Okay. Okay, so these are the two manipulators that are in these chapters. Okay, so go through this, okay, and go through these programs. Okay, so tomorrow I'll be uploading the presidency hierarchy of the operators. Okay, and then along with that I'll explain to you from the solve exercise also. Okay, and keep in mind that tomorrow we'll be having a Google Meet. Okay, so I expect all of you to be present for that live video session. All right, so that'll be all for today.